Long ago in Scandinavia, which now includes Denmark, Norway, and Sweden, lived the Vikings. They were remarkable people from around the 8th to the 11th century. They were known as fierce warriors, skillful seafarers, and adventurous explorers. The Vikings weren't just one group. They were made up of many different tribes speaking a similar language called Old Norse. Often wearing helmets and carrying shields, they were warriors known for their ferocity in battle. Many stories, known as sagas, tell of their bravery and adventures. One thing that made the Vikings so famous was their amazing longships. These ships were long and narrow, with a very shallow bottom, which meant they could navigate both the oceans and even the shallowest rivers. Imagine floating down a river in a longship with a dragon head carved at the prow. It must have been quite a sight. Vikings sailed far and wide. They reached places like England, Ireland, and even far-off Greenland and North America. In fact, long before Christopher Columbus, a Viking named Leif Erikson is believed to have landed in what is now called Canada. But the Vikings didn't just raid and explore. They were also traders and settled in many of the lands they explored. They traded items like fur, wool, and timber. They were great craftsmen, too. They made beautiful jewelry, tools, and weapons. Viking families lived in longhouses, which were large enough for many people to live in, often with cattle and other animals. They wore clothes made from wool, leather, and fur to keep warm during the cold winters. Religion was important to the Vikings, too. They believed in many gods and goddesses, like Thor with his powerful hammer and Odin, who was very wise. They thought that brave warriors would go to a special place called Valhalla when they died. The Viking Age eventually came to an end, but their legacy lives on. We can see their influence in place names, words, and even our modern-day society.